Canada was chosen as the second best country in the world last year according to new research based on a variety of metrics. But what exactly set Canada apart from the United States? Let's dive into the research. The 8th year of the ranking. U.S. News & World Report and the global data consulting company Cantor Group have published their ranking of the world's best countries for 8 consecutive years, but their method of picking the winners was quite interesting. The ranking was based on how global perceptions define countries in terms of several qualitative characteristics. 73 total attributes were assessed and they were grouped into 10 overarching thematic sub-rankings. Quality of life, agility, social purpose, movers, cultural influence, open for business, adventure, power, and heritage were all overarching attributes that compose the categories of sub-rankings, and when 73 attributes were compiled and taken together, they created a country's ranking. It sounds complicated, but what the attributes really measured were perceptions about a country, or rather what others believed about a country's economic and social success, as well as a host of other factors. However, therein lies the research's most difficult issue. How do researchers find the right people to question about which countries were the world's best? In the case of Cantor Group and U.S. News & World Report, the data was compiled by surveying a group of 17,000 individuals from across several nations. The research covered perceptions of people from 36 different nations in 2023, and the conclusions found that there was one country that stood ahead of the rest. There were also some countries you may have expected to see in the top 10 that didn't make it. It's important to note that only 87 nations were considered in the research for the world's best in 2023. So who made it into the top 10? And which nation did individuals from all over the world choose as the best country in 2023? Let's find out. 10. The Netherlands. GDP, $991 billion. GDP per capita, $69,577. Population, 17.7 million. 9. United Kingdom. GDP, $3.07 trillion. GDP per capita, $54,603. Population, 67.0 million. 8. New Zealand. GDP, $247 billion. GDP per capita, $51,967. Population, 5.12 million. 7. Germany. GDP, $4.07 trillion. GDP per capita, $63,150. Population, 84.1 million. 6. Japan. GDP, $4.23 trillion. GDP per capita, $45,573. Population, 125 million. 5. United States. GDP, $25.5 trillion. GDP per capita, $76,399. Population, 333 million. 4. Australia. GDP, $1.68 trillion. GDP per capita, $62,625. Population, 26.0 million. 3. Sweden. GDP, $586 billion. GDP per capita, $64,578. Population, 10.5 million. 2. Canada. GDP, $2.14 trillion. GDP per capita, $58,400. Population, 38.9 million. 1. Switzerland. GDP, $808 billion. GDP per capita, $83,598. Population, 8.77 million.